All right, ready?
Hold on. I think I have to burp.
Okay, you have to gasturbate.
Is that what it is?
So remember this is gasturbate versus gastrobate.
Oh, yeah. And what is the word used in the song? Gasturbate?
Gastrobate.
Oh, yes.
Making room.
Oh my gosh.
Air move on that.
Oh boy, that tastes like sauce.
I feel like I've been drinking beer and eating sausage for the last like 48 hours.
Oh yeah, we ate sausage last night
sausage
too.
yesterday. Yeah.
and then-
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the life.
Oh, we'll
Stay out late to gasturbate and hang out with our friends. We'll share a few good microbrews, the good times never end. From seaside to the mountains, we'll travel many lands. Eateth of their pub cuisine and hear their local bands. We'll drink it from a bottle in a can or what's on tap. We'll rage brew as we do with fairness on a map. Spirits are up, we'll fill our cup, the wind is in our sails. We'll drunkenly mix metaphors and travel hoppy trails.
Welcome to Hoppy Trails, the show where we go out and battle the winter elements so that we can tell you the places you should check out in the spring and summer when it's a little nicer out.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis, and once again we are joined by our wonderful, amazing friend Fox, who is a beer professional. He is a connoisseur. I believe he's written 4 books. Fox, is it 4 books on beers?
Yes, 4 one-page books.
4 one-page books on beers, otherwise known as Notes from Our Adventure Today.
He has more notes than I do.
I
That's for sure.
believe he has more notes than I do. That's
I-
also true. I started slacking off around brewery number 2.
I was on cruise control today.
We had a full day, did we not?
Full is an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
In more ways than one. Like,
I love that when we were at the last place, and we'll obviously talk about all of them. I love we're at the last place. We've got the taster. We've got it out there. Beautiful, beautiful beers, beautiful presentation. We're there until they're getting ready, like wrapping up and closing, and we're just having the hardest time getting rid of these
finishing.
things.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God.
At least we weren't like the last people there.
No, we
But,
were not.
Yeah.
But
There was at least
And we
2 or
didn't
3
finish
groups
them.
left.
Like, they were all really good beers.
Yes.
It's just, I think
You and
at
I
that
just
point, like,
crushed them
it,
at the last in the last 2 minutes.
what you gotta
Schwag
do.
And Huey and I were just slamming each individual one.
hey, somebody's got to get the swag, right?
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Yeah.
I liked when we got down to like the last 2, we were both kind of looking at each other like, are you gonna do that one? All right, we'll split it.
You see, we're putting in the hard work. We're putting in the hard work for you, for your benefit.
Sure.
It's a rough job. It's a rough job.
But somebody's got to
gotta
do it to it.
That's right.
We should talk to Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
It's a dirty job.
Well, gentlemen, how did we start our day?
We went to
You
breakfast.
did go to breakfast.
We were originally going to one place.
Yeah.
Went there.
Yeah. What was that place called? Victorian House or something?
Victorian Cafe.
Victorian Cafe. Yeah.
We managed to find parking, which was better than the last time I attempted going there.
Yeah.
And then we parked and we went in there and they said it was going to be an hour wait.
An hour wait.
I was feel like, we're pretty hungry. I was hungry.
Well, we were
But-
hungry and we needed some coffee.
Yes.
No doubt
coffee
about
as
it.
well.
It was weird that we did actually like drive 20 minutes to a different restaurant and
Yeah.
then wait 30 minutes in line for that place.
It wasn't 20 minutes to drive to that. It was like,
I'm being facetious.
I know you are, but
coffee
it was literally
It's
2 or 3
goddamn-
minutes away, but
it's
yeah.
the principle of the thing.
Okay.
We will
But
drive
anyways.
somewhere else and take longer so that we don't have to wait in one place.
This other place worked out very well
Yes, it
because
did.
we parked,
Yeah.
we went in, and they said 30-minute wait. Okay, we can manage
Yeah.
because there was a nice coffee shop right across the street.
Right next door. That was right here.
patio.
Back porch.
Back
porch. Yeah, back porch coffee roasters. Yeah. Good little spot there.
Yeah. Delicious coffee.
As soon as you walked in, you could smell it was going to be good coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Tasted good. It's been a long time since I've purchased a cup of coffee that didn't actually get burned and taste burnt,
which you had later on.
which
the
I did have
afternoon.
later on. So I
Yeah.
made up for that
Yeah.
later in the day.
Yeah, it's it's really crazy with coffee. You see a lot of places that are, the craft independent coffee roasters and all of this, and I really feel like Starbucks set a standard of just burning the shit out of coffee.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people feel like you have to burn the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And you don't. Like, you don't have to do that. You can make good coffee that's just smooth and flavorful. And I feel like this place's back porch did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they did. And did you grab a little taste of the banana bread there?
I did.
How was that?
That was very good banana bread. Sorry I didn't share it with you guys.
It's all good.
It was the old man and like, I need to eat. I need to take my pill.
We did get a slow start in the morning, so it's understandable.
They did actually have a pretty good array of pastries in there. There's a lot of them that looked really good.
If we weren't about to like eat breakfast, I would have liked to try others, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I would have eaten it, but like you ruined me on the corned beef and hash. 'Cause,
So anyways, this place that we went to breakfast called Chow.
Chow, yeah.
Chow. I had been there before a couple of years ago with my wife. And it was the same scenario before. We went and tried to go to Victorian Cafe, couldn't get in there. Found Chow not too far, went there and got in almost right. Well, back then, almost right away.
Yeah.
But it's a cool little place. They have a little small service bar.
Yeah.
Offer some delicious brunchy cocktails. I had a bacon infused vodka Bloody Mary.
Yes, you did. How was that?
That was delicious.
Yeah.
I'm not too really much of a fan of pickled vegetables.
Right.
But I do enjoy the flavor that they kind of add into the Bloody Mary itself.
Yeah, and they had a plethora of pickled vegetables on that Bloody Mary. I mean, it was stacked.
Yeah. But also, a few bacon strips stuck in there, which
and
were nice and crispy. So
exactly. I was just gonna say they were excellently crispy. Looked very delicious.
because I've definitely gotten some bacon Bloody Marys in the past where they don't quite cook the bacon. I mean, it's cooked enough to be up to temperature, but it's still floppy bacon, kind of.
Which is not conducive for sitting in a beverage.
Yeah. So nobody wants any floppy bacon in their Bloody Mary.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
But yeah, this place was something else.
Yeah, the art that they had on the wall, it was an artist named the signs the paintings L. Wood.
Yeah. L. Lockwood.
L. Lockwood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of what's that movie?
Or maybe it is Elwood.
Legally
because
Blonde.
it's
I'm thinking of
Lockwood.
Legally Blonde.
It might be Elwood.
Yeah, but the name is actually like John or
I think
something.
it's Justin Lockwood.
Justin Lockwood.
No, Jesse. I think it's Jesse.
Or is it James?
I could go through a lot more J names if you want.
Sorry, Jesse J. Lockwood.
Jesse J. Lockwood. Okay. Yeah, and we'll have a link to his Instagram because he's got some cool stuff, like a variety of styles. Definitely some cool pieces. But those were adorning the walls. So it was really fun. We got to kind of peek at some of those while we were waiting for our food. And it was really funny because we sat down. We had talked about, as you said, Fox, we had talked about corned beef hash on the way in. And so we got in there. We looked at the menu, and there were two items that really stood out to the three of us. And as I do, when our server came over, I asked her, like, well, hey, what do you recommend? If you were sitting down right now, obviously they were stressed, they were busy. Like, if you were sitting down, what would you be eating right now? And she actually recommended the two things that we had been looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And one being the corned beef hash, of course, and the other, which I got the corned beef hash, and you two got the other item,
Chicken fried steak.
chicken fried steak.
That was probably
Perfect.
the best that I had.
Absolutely perfect.
Like a true fried chicken crust
Yeah.
all around this piece of steak.
That crust looked hearty. Let me tell
Yes.
you, it looked like it was thick and substantial.
And then it was covered in, obviously in their sausage gravy, but also caramelized onions,
Yes.
cremini mushrooms,
Oh wow.
and blue cheese.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and
That's stacked.
it was really well balanced too. Because I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of mushrooms at all. Like I don't know, something about taste and texture for me just don't quite do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're looking at me. Like I can eat them and like it's fine, but for the most part, like I never really feel like they add anything to the meal, and that's just a personal opinion. But
Sure.
I thought they were great with this.
Yeah.
Like, I actually didn't go out of my way to like push them off to the side. Like I actually was eating them with it, and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the cremini mushroom is a good mushroom. It's one that you know, a lot of times you'll just see the white button mushroom, which is fine for a mushroom. There's nothing wrong with that. But the cremini mushroom does add a little bit more flavor, a little bit more depth. Yeah, I didn't even realize they had those on there. Was it kind of big, thick slices, or what was it?
They were more on kind of the smaller size. It was interesting. I'd never kind of seen them that small before, but
Yeah,
A little small, maybe like an eighth of an inch thick. Like
Yeah.
they weren't
yeah.
daunting. The grits were really good too, though.
bacon cheddar grits.
Oh yeah, what was up? So like some cheesy grits too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That looked excellent. It looked like a hearty portion too, no doubt about it.
Definitely. And then the trio of hot sauces that they brought
Yes.
over. I used I think it was the ancho
Yeah.
chili salt
Yeah,
hot
they're
sauce.
red. It was the ancho.
I just kind of put that on my eggs. That was perfect.
Yeah, yeah. She brought those 3 out. They were all house made. There was a green that was probably like a serrano or jalapeno.
Yeah.
There was the red ancho, and then there was that orange, the carrot carrot habanero, which she, as you do, you don't know who your guests are, and so she laid out hey, this one's really hot. Maybe be sparing, be careful with that one. And Fox, you and I just poured it
I
on.
think we took like a quarter of that bottle. It was great though. I mean, like it had a lot of flavor. It wasn't just pure spice.
Yeah.
It was really nice addition to everything.
Yeah, really good. It had that heat that was definitely present and kind of hit you a little bit. But as we've talked about before, not one that like just lingers and lingers and lingers and won't go away. It was that heat that you got the good flavor, then the heat would dissipate, and then you go back in for another bite. Yeah. Yeah, that was excellent. And then, yeah, I had the corned beef hash, which was, I guess they do theirs in-house. I think they were saying they braise it for either 12 or 18 hours.
18 hours.
18-hour braise. It was super tender, and then they throw it in with these roasted potatoes that were just really well roasted and crispy on the outside. And then, throw a couple of eggs on top. And then they had this little swirl of like a balsamic vinegar reduction that was on there. And
okay.
when I was reading it on the menu, I'm like, I don't know if that really matches up. But honestly, the way this all came together, it was really good. So I was taking some potatoes, giving a little smear on the balsamic reduction, and it really came together well. That was an excellent breakfast. I loved it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Are we going to stick with the plan and go back tomorrow morning?
I'm really okay with that.
I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to try that country fried steak. I really want to do
We're
that.
gonna go back and all switch meals.
Exactly. Yeah, it was excellent. The people were really nice. It was great service there. So I've got no complaints. I recommend it. And I would say, look, if you think you're going to go to the Victorian place, just, save yourself some time and go straight to Chow because you're going to end up there anyway.
Not to diss on them. I'm sure the Victorian place is very good. I mean,
sure
there's a
it is.
reason why they had an hour. I'm sure it's very good, and I'm still going to make attempts, the next time I'm out here to try and go there.
We're
But
just being bitter old men.
yeah, grumpy old men.
Yeah, it's a little difficult because, in a town like this, there's a lot of places that used to be houses that are being converted into restaurants and things like that. And so there's not going to be a ton of parking. There's just not.
Nope.
What used to be a front yard is now a parking lot. And so you do what you can. But the Victorian house, I'm sure we'll get there someday.
Totally.
Yeah. Definitely good though at Chow. And they had what looked like a stage in the back and some outdoor seating and stuff. So I don't know, maybe in the spring and summer they may have bands and things. I don't know, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, both of them had pretty good setups because I think Chow also had that too, right? I mean, when we were waiting for a table, we were out by the fire, but
That's what I was talking about was at Chow.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's another patio out by the Victorian that's off to like the left hand side where we
Were
going up
trying
the
to
alley.
squeeze through.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure a lot of places, once the snow kind of clears up, they can do a little more outdoor activities. Yeah. Well, and so we went from there and cruised over to Crux, right? Was the next stop?
Well, I mean, we had a little break in between. We came back.
We
But
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were dealing with some fullness. We had to take a little break before we loaded up on.
Well, there was a lot
beer.
of food that we started with. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did. We took a little bit of time to digest, relax, make some room. And I'm glad we did because Crux, I mean, we definitely got a good amount.
Was it?
At Crux there.
We had 9 different ones.
I think
yeah.
nine different
Oh,
beers.
maybe not 9 different ones, but I'd say probably at least like 5 or 6.
because they were great hosts. Like they just came out.
Yeah, they were.
Like
They were great. Just
they were both tough.
taking the time to like talk to us. I mean, I think because there was a couple times I looked down at my phone And I think they probably talked to us for a good solid 30 minutes where it was all split up in between and everything. But, yeah, great people.
Yeah, they gave us a lot of their time, and it was, the person that was there was one of the brewers, not a head brewer, and then also I didn't catch the woman's name who was talking with us, but she just worked the tap room, but both of them like really passionate, loved working there, and were really happy to share what they knew, and which was a lot. We got a lot of information there.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like I think the general manager for that
Yes.
tap room. Yeah, or in that location.
Yeah. And Crux, they have so they do production at that location.
Yeah,
But that's not their main production facility. That most of their production there is for selling across the bar in that location, which I thought was interesting because they've got a decent amount of production
that's a
there.
big production.
Yeah.
right there.
Really cool spot though, because it was Amco building, right?
Yes, the old Amco transmission building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got a lot of the what is it? Secondhand German brewing.
Yeah. They were saying that I think almost all of their equipment was secondhand from other breweries. They had that beautiful copper equipment in there.
That was what came from Germany.
Yeah, and that came from Germany from an old brewery there. And then they were also saying the hop back, which is where you at the end you run the beer through hops at the end to get that final good aroma burst and what have you. Their hop back, I can't remember what brewery they said that was from. They said that was actually the oldest hopback in the state, which I thought was really cool because it's like, that's
a lot of history that's gone through that thing.
A lot of history. Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like we've been using hopbacks for 100 years. It's in the life of beer. It's kind of a newer piece of equipment.
It's a lot of beers that have gone through there.
But a lot of beers have gone through there. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Well, what beer was your favorite from Crux?
The one that we're drinking right now.
Oh yeah. I forgot to say. What are we drinking right now, boys?
It's called Cinnamon Prost.
Yeah.
And it's a horchata cream ale.
Yes. And horchata, for folks that don't know, is kind of a Mexican beverage that is kind of like a milk cream cinnamon sugar.
Agua fresca.
Agua fresca.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a milk cream cinnamon. I think there might be some rice base to it.
I think so.
Yeah. But it's quite an addictive drink.
Yeah.
But for me, nowadays, it's a little too sweet for me and thick. But this Cinnamon Prost that mimics it in a cream ale form, this is something that you could drink quite a lot of.
Yeah.
And it's not overly sweet. Very light.
Yeah, and is the base beer a lager or a Kolsch? I can't remember what they were saying.
I don't know if I caught that.
Oh, let me
That was on
up there.
Kiwi's palate.
Yes.
I don't know. What are cream ales usually?
Well, that's the funny thing is you take a look at this and it's it is a light straw colored, clear, crisp, very light bodied beer to begin with, and it's not where you'd expect to have those notes of horchata. Like you just don't expect to have them in there. I would expect it in a beer that has a darker malt and something like that. But
it does really actually have like that texture of like a Boddington's. It's really deceiving in terms of just the way that it's put together. It looks a lot lighter than it tastes.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It's it brewed with blend of malted barley, long grain rice, flake corn, malted milk powder.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, lager.
Okay. Yeah. it does not look the way that it tastes. Very deceiving, like you said, Fox. Yeah. But all around an excellent beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then what?
They did have some good lagers though.
Yes, they did.
The Bochi
Bochi was on
Japanese rice lager. That was delicious.
Yeah. So what was the deal with that one? Because the rice lager, very light, very crisp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pure is what came to my mind when I drank it. It was like you're drinking the pure water version of beer.
Yeah.
As silly as that sounds, but incredibly light and crisp. But
yeah,
that's definitely something like if you were planning on drinking all day, That's weird, especially if it's hot. Oh man, that would be amazing on a hot day.
Yeah. Yeah. And lager, American lager, that's what the big three are doing. They do it, flavorless. They do it easy to knock down. Something that, it is repeatable at multiple different places, right? So kind of a simple basic. But this was not that. This is a good lager that has a nice full flavor to it, while still maintaining that light crispness and that clean purity, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, an interesting thing. So lager, as we talked about before, right? You have your lager yeast and your ale yeast, and they perform differently and at different temperatures. And this, like many places now, they don't have lagering tanks, because lagering tanks, you only use them to make lagers. And so when you're not making lager, you're wasting that space. And so they're able to just chill down regular fermenters, not to the fully cold lagering temperatures, but cold enough that you're still getting that really clean ferment. And I really like that. It's, utilizing your space more efficiently, getting the most out of your equipment. So I thought that was really cool that they're able to do that without specific set lagering tanks.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do they have going on there? Oh, the a lot of their beers that they have on tap coming straight from the bright tanks, not even from keg.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought us into that nice cold room.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And they call it the cellar. And yeah, they had all the bright tanks right there. And most of those were just going straight out to the taps at the bar. So no wasted time filling kegs and dragging a keg over. Just, you've got your bright tank with, 10, 15 barrels. There you go. Tap it and run it till it runs out.
Exactly.
And they had some barrel aged stuff. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially that one that we were able to grab a bottle of, that was the
Freak cake.
freak cake.
Yes.
What did I call it? I called it fruit cake.
Yeah, it's freak cake.
Freak cake. I need to edit our Instagram post. Everyone pretend like it was always correct. But the freak cake 23 was one that they had located a barrel that was 5 years old, and it they popped it open, tasted it. It was amazing, and so they bottled it up for a limited run. And we were able to get our hands on a bottle. And who knows? I mean, by the time this episode's out, they may be all out of it. So we recommend that, if you're able to get there. But they definitely had some very good barrel aged stuff that was making some really interesting flavors. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else did they have? They had something else going in a room that was right next to our table.
Oh yeah, they were doing some open fermentation.
Yeah, it was a cream ale, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they had one that they were saying was going to be very similar to a Boddington's, like an English pub cream ale type.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was in their open tank fermenters, which was very cool. They said they get to do some sours and things like that in there from time to time, but they hadn't used them recently. So that was cool that they had one in there for us to see. Yeah, I'm trying to see what else did we really look at. There was so much. It's been such an amazing day that I'm trying to remember everything. Oh yeah, gentlemen, the whiskey.
Oh,
The whiskey.
yes.
Yeah.
The whiskey.
It's really good.
That was very caramel, brown sugar flavors.
Yeah.
I'd love to know exactly what they did with it, but that came out really good.
Yeah. It was outstanding, and we tried it both neat and on the rocks.
Yeah, I had it neat.
One of the smoothest.
I had no problem putting it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's it's very interesting. Beer brewing is the first part of making whiskey, right? Because you're starting with the grains and you have to brew and ferment and everything like that. And then for whiskey, you just run it through the still and then age it and like that. I mean, it's not that simple, but basically that's where you're starting with. But with whiskey, traditionally, they don't put as much into these grain bills and coming up with the grain recipes. So it's natural that beer brewers should be getting into this, and they would be making some of these really, really good, solid, grain bills and mashes that would end up with such a smooth whiskey. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was excellent.
They also had something that I personally have never seen on a lot of taps, which was that dark Belgian style.
Yes.
Which was really good.
That's right. They did have that really dark Belgian. That's right. What was the name of that one? Do you remember?
Was the Double Cross.
The Double Cross. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that was an excellent beer that they had.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop because it's it was not flavorless by any means. Like it was almost again deceiving in terms of I took that first sip and I actually got way more flavor from that than I think I was ready for. It was a very like rich beer to drink. It was delightful, but I mean it threw me for a loop that first sip. It was,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it just all around, I think we probably tried 7 or 8 beers plus the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a lot of time there talking to him and everything. It's a really cool location. They've got that whole outside area with a few food trucks, fire pits and what have you.
It's in an interesting spot where it's kind of on its own next to the highway just above it. And you like take some weird random little zigzag streets to get back there. But
Yeah.
it's cool because it's kind of secluded and it's kind of in its own kind of quiet area.
Yeah. It's definitely off the beaten path, but a path that's worth going down.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a trail worth going down.
It is a trail worth going down. Yeah. Yeah. And they have, so, as we said, what they're producing there is for sale at that bar. They have a production facility where they do a lot more.
They
And
can.
They can bottle all of that at their production facility. And then they're also opening another location at the old,
Vagabond Brewing in Portland.
In Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vagabond didn't make it, unfortunately, but that makes it very easy for them to expand because they've got a place where the infrastructure is there, the equipment is there. They can step in, make the purchase, get everything tuned up and get ready to go. There's no problem with licensing because you already meet all the requirements because there was already something there.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And they're going to start producing there. I think they said they're going to be open
In June, I think.
June.
Yeah.
And then this location will be supplying that one
Mm-hmm.
until they're up and running. And then that place will supply itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. So you'll be able to get that not only out in Bend, but you can go into Portland and get some fresh off the tap there too.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. What did we do after that?
Yeah. We did a quick little coffee stop
that was the Ale Apothecary.
and then went to Ale Apothecary.
Ale Apothecary. That was a really cool place.
Yes.
Really cool place. All wild ferments.
Yes.
So everything had a little bit of the barnyard funk.
Yeah,
A
little bit of
barnyard
sour.
funk.
it did.
Yeah. And what did we try? 5 beers from there? I think they only had
Yeah,
5
It
available.
was 5. Yeah.
Available.
Yeah, we grabbed 1 of each. So that was really cool. They had 4 on a traditional tap and then 1 that was on the beer
Beer
engine.
engine.
And that was cool too because that adds that little bit of creaminess
Yep.
when they're pulling it. So that was really interesting. That was good. Yeah.
Which one was that the brown ale that was in there or no?
That was
Okay.
the Earthbound.
Earth-
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had what was there one that was a fruited. Oh man, we've had so many today. I'm just trying to,
All of-
trying to remember them all.
Yeah, this is about when all my spelling in my notes starts to get a little wonky. I think that was it was Cherry L something or other.
Cherry El Quattro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. So they had
That was it kind of had a nice like pinkish hue to it.
beautiful hue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was one that had cherries, and then they aged it in Pinot and brandy barrels.
That's right.
Yeah, so local Pinot Noir and brandy barrels. It gave it a lot of character that they picked up from that, as well as the cherries, of course. That was a 9%er. Really a good flavor on it. As we were talking to, what was the name of the woman that was there helping us? Do we remember?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I don't recall, but she was super
failed.
knowledgeable.
Yeah,
She was really
very
friendly. One of the things she was saying is, they cultivate the wild yeast. So they collect the wild yeast, cultivate it, and then they inoculate the beer with it. So you're getting the benefits of the wild yeast, but with less risk of contamination. And one of the things she was saying was that they have less of the bacteria Brettanomyces, which is what really gives that heavy barnyard funk. So they have less of it than you would find in a lot of wild ferments. So it had that barnyard funk there, but not to an extent that it was just punching you in the face, which I thought was great. And it made their beers really balanced. Fox, ordinarily, I mean, you're not a sour man, right?
No, not in the least bit.
Yeah. So what'd you think of these?
I actually thought they were all enjoyable, to be honest. I mean, they all had varying degrees in terms of how sour they kind of had. The brown ale, to be honest, was almost non-existent,
Yeah.
which is just kind of cool in general. The cherry one, the cherry El Cuatro, I think had the most sourness to it, and I think that's still something I could drink a bottle of and probably be just fine.
Yeah.
I liked they took because they not only like have their own unique approach to brewing, but it shows in the tap room too, because everything in there is reclaimed. Like all the bar stools and stuff are made from old barrels, and I mean they took all of the coverings for the barrels with all the yeast stains and
Yeah.
A lot of creativity flowing in there.
Yeah.
tarps out of them.
That's
awesome.
right. Because they with their with the mash tuns, it's like all wooden equipment that they're using for the brewing and fermenting, and so yeah, they just throw that it was like a canvas over the top as a cover to keep debris out, but to let it breathe and all that. And so yeah, they had the like almost a yeast print or it would bubble up, and then they took those and kind of sewed them together to make a tapestry almost. I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember what it was called. A Kurna, that he had carved from a spruce tree.
Yes.
That they had cut down and they carved out. It was like standing up on end, behind us. And it was basically something used to brew this, Finnish beer.
Yeah.
Where they loaded up with all the spruce tips and run the beer through it to basically, like you were saying, it's kind of a form of like hopping.
Yeah. So spruce tips are used in some places, usually in like late winter beers.
Yeah.
Because the spruce tips will have a similar preservative nature that hops will have. And hops originally were for preserving the beer, not for what we use them for now, which is, kicking you in the face with hoppiness. But spruce tips can perform that same function. And so some places where it's colder climates, you will get spruce tips growing, and it's something you can access in late winter, early spring, whereas hops you don't get until August.
Okay.
So yeah, and it was a spruce log that he hollowed out, kind of like a canoe.
By hand.
I originally thought, like, is this a canoe?
Yeah, I was like, this is an odd shaped canoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what, he just laid the spruce tips in, and were you saying they run the beer through it, or?
Yeah, I think so. Now I kind of want to go back and look, or well, we can always look it up too.
And we'll see if we can get an interview, and maybe he can kind of break it down for us more.
Totally.
That would be really cool, and he could talk about the process and all of that. But yeah, it was all kinds of stuff like that, just like traditional methods, ways that, beer was being brewed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but, with some kind of modern approaches and combinations. Yeah, and it was really good.
Holds to that old school tradition. Even the truck that she said he drove the barrels.
Like an old, I think it was probably like a 60s truck.
Yeah, like old flatbed.
Yeah, hauling the barrels around and brewing equipment.
Yeah.
Going back to the roots.
Just super cool, and everything local, right? I wanted to make sure we mentioned that. Everything local, including the grains, which you don't really associate grain production with Oregon, right? You think Midwest for that, but apparently there's enough grain production in Oregon that they have, I can't remember the name of the company, but all the grains are local to Oregon. They're roasted in Oregon, and malted. And so literally everything, including the wine and distilled spirit barrels that they age in, everything from within Oregon. I thought that was really cool, just keeping it 100% local, which, is harder to see in a state like this where you don't, like I said, you don't have that kind of grain production. So that was really cool. Yeah,
really nice approach. I know we missed it yesterday, but I'm really glad we were able to actually catch that today.
Yeah, that was really good. And when we were trying to hit it yesterday, it was getting into the evening and like that, and we probably wouldn't have gotten as much time because when we went in there, it was a little bit more empty.
Mecca Guard Estate.
That's what it is.
Yes, that's where they get their grains from.
Yeah. But yeah, we were able to get a lot more of her time, because we were kind of in between groups there. And so we had the place to ourselves for a little bit, and that was really nice so that we could really learn a lot. I think there was a lot of good community. You know what I mean? Just
Yes.
the talk about roots and community and everything like that. Some of the stuff that we talk about a lot was definitely very visible and present in that brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely glad that we went there.
Yeah.
What was it? The name that drew you in, Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made me think of Dungeons and Dragons. I had to check it out.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you like Ren Fair, you're going to like this place, right?
Totally.
It didn't have a mead, which was a little bit.
That's not their bag.
But interestingly, they do natural carbonation, right? And so after the
Yes.
ferment, they add a little bit more yeast and then a local honey
local honey
that
as
they
well.
use for the fermented sugar for carbonating. So a little bit there, not a full mead, but little honey for you.
No, I just like I know in Eugene there's a couple brewers that do meads. So I kind of have been looking for a place that actually does like a good mead because my wife is really into them and like I've never really found one that's not been overly sweet for myself. So it's kind of like that subtle hunt while you go through and look for good beers. You know, it's kind of like, oh, if I can see a good mead, then cool.
Well, and with the philosophy that this brewer has, I would imagine he would make a really good mead.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that's nice and dry and has, some good elements to it. Yeah, we'll talk to him. Maybe we'll convince him to make a mead. So we left the ale apothecary and it was time for us to eat because we'd been drinking and we thought we need to eat. And what's the name of the place that we went to?
Paria?
Paria. Yeah, Paria.
Mexican Grill.
Which was right over by
Across the street from Victorian Cafe.
from Victorian Cafe, where we had started the day.
Gone full circle.
That's right.
Literally full circle because we had to go all the way around the roundabout in front of it.
That's right. So we did go full circle. And this place is like a burrito and taco fusion type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little spot, not very big, but they've got an excellent menu, a lot of variety on there.
Little place, big punch in the menu.
Big punch in the menu. And we got the wrap of con.
The wrap of con.
The wrap of con. This was what was recommended.
It was recommended, yeah.
So
Garth from the Least Haunted podcast, a former resident of Bend, which I don't know what the correct term for that is, so I am saying he is a bender, right?
That works. I'll take it.
yeah, I like it.
3 votes.
I'm a fan of Futurama, so
Yeah.
Bender works.
Exactly. Okay, 3 votes. They're called benders now.
Benders.
And so as a former bender, he said that the wrap of con was one of the things that he missed the most about this town. And so we thought, hey, we've got to try it out. Really good. It looks like it could stand on its own as a vegetarian burrito. It's got a lot of good stuff in there, but you can also add a protein to it.
Which obviously we did.
Obviously we
need
did.
protein.
Yeah. I'm a growing boy, right? I need to have protein. I'm not growing taller anymore. I'm growing wider, but whatever. I'm growing nonetheless, and I need my protein. So, Fox, you and I, we did carnitas.
Mm-hmm.
And I did chicken.
Huey did chicken.
Yeah.
How was that chicken?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I think ultimately that's what kept me from going into full blown coma afterwards.
I was done. That put me out.
Yeah, the carnitas is probably what took you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this without the meat, this wrap or burrito has a spicy chili bean smear, rice, shaved cabbage and carrots, Thai peanut sauce, corn salsa, and blue cheese crumbles.
Yeah. And
Such a
the blue
eclectic
cheese
mixture,
crumbles.
but like all those flavors just melded perfectly.
100% perfectly. You would have never thought, like, who would then think of those first items and go and throw in some blue cheese crumbles? But somebody took a chance, and it was really good.
And I'm glad they did. I
Yeah.
love blue cheese, and that just somehow all fit in and brought it. There was some spiciness to it, but like you get the spiciness on the front, and then the blue cheese on the back, and kind of cool things off.
Yeah.
And that allowed you to add more hot sauce.
Yeah.
Absolutely. and the creaminess
sauce
of
was
the
really good.
peanut.
Yeah, the hot sauce was really good.
That
too.
hot sauce was excellent. Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a good hot sauce. I was very happy with that. And then because I'm a glutton, I also got some fish tacos. And the fish tacos were also really good. Yeah.
Was that the Jefe's fish tacos?
Or there were 2 fish tacos on
Okay,
there, right?
this one says 3 breaded in front.
No, the 3 came with it, but there were 2 types of fish tacos.
Oh, okay,
that
got
I
it,
think on the menu. I think I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I got the regular fish tacos. Let me see here. There was Oh, okay. So they had the Hefe's fish tacos or street tacos, and I got the Hefe's fish tacos, which were really good. Really crispy pieces of fish, white fish, really nice. Those three definitely could stand alone as a meal on their own. I only ate one of the tacos with lunch. I saved the other two, and I just finished those off a little bit ago. But I was glad I had them. Those are excellent tacos. Excellent. Let me see. Yeah, they had a lot of other stuff on the menu. Huey, what did you pick up for a beverage from there?
It was a kombucha, which I'm normally not a kombucha drinker, but what caught my eye, which usually catches my eye with canned beer, is the label.
Yeah.
Because at the top, the top of the label, the text is flipped upside down, and it says "flip to activate." So right there, you got my attention. Like, what's going on here? Why does it need to be flipped to activate? What am I activating?
Right.
I've seen some nitro canned beers where you flip it over and then you crack it open to basically activate the nitro in it.
Sure.
I think even Dutch Bros, they offer a canned cold brew that's nitro charged, and you don't want to flip it over because then otherwise it activates the nitro, and if you're not opening it, then
right.
But anyways, I was intrigued. And then the other upside down text was that it was called like a midnight painkiller.
Yeah.
And I was like, painkiller. I've had a kind of a tiki cocktail, and it usually has coconut, pineapple, nutmeg, whatever alcohol. I think usually rum.
Probably rum.
Like that.
Sounds
right. And so I read the ingredients. It was coconut, pineapple, nutmeg, and I can't remember, something else in it. So I was like, sure, I'll try it out. What could go wrong? It's just kombucha. Also, high percentage kombucha.
It's just kombucha.
6%.
6% alcohol.
Yeah, and it was pretty smooth. Like the flavors weren't crazy strong in it, but you got a little bit of each of those items. Oh, it was also orange that I believe was in it.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of each of those flavors, but it wasn't like I've had kombuchas in the past where it was like the flavor just kind of punches you in the face, like a strong sour.
Right.
This was none of that. It was almost like a hard seltzer in a way.
Yeah.
So
very nice. Well, listen, here's the deal, gentlemen. We've got more to talk about, but I have already broken the seal. We've been drinking beverages all day, so I think we need to take a quick break. This would be perfect
for promo.
If we've got
our trail report,
if someone's giving us a trail report, who knows what we're going to throw in when we get to editing? You'll know because you're listening right now. We don't know because that's in the future.
Plus, I need more beer. So.
Yeah, and I think it's time to top everyone off. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello, this is Billy, and I'm here with Isaac at 8th State Brewing in Greenville, South Carolina, located in the old Clausen's Bread Company building. It's a beautiful building here. And Isaac, you just want to tell us a little bit about how you guys got started, how long you've been here, and really what's some of the really unique things you got going on?
So we started about 4.5 years ago. It was before it was the 8th State. It was a homebrew shop and a U-Brew small brewery here. And we transitioned our focus into more barrel-aged stouts, imperial stouts. We're really known for the stouts, but we do sours really well. We have a stainless steel Solera program that's really unique, and I think people enjoy that.
All right, Isaac, you've got some new things coming up, so tell me about one of these new brews you've got going.
So we have a new barrel-aged stout called Messages in Water. It's aged 2 years and 1 day in an Elijah Craig 8-year single barrel pick barrel, and then we added wild Thai banana and Brazilian planifolia vanilla, conditioned on that for quite some time, and you got a really nice stout. Cheers. So come and get our beer.
That's right. The next time you're in Greenville, be sure to stop by 8th State Brewery.
Boom. That's right. Nice.
All right. Welcome back. Everybody feel a little bit better after that break?
I do. I feel relieved.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think we're all a little bit more comfortable now. And so let's get back to this. But before we jump back into the day, there was something I neglected to talk about yesterday. Yesterday for us, 2 weeks ago for you all listeners. Something I neglected to talk about was organized brewing. It's Oregon, Oregonized, Organized Brewing
Clever.
it is the only homebrew shop in Bend. There used to be a brick and mortar homebrew shop here. That one went out during the pandemic. And so this fellow opened up Organized Brewing, which is in Bend. It's local, but it is not brick and mortar. So you do your orders online, and then he delivers whatever it is you've ordered. He delivers it to Spider City. So you go into Spider City Brewing to pick up your stuff. While you're there, you grab a pint, maybe a couple of cans to go, things like that. Really good arrangement. He's also heavily involved with the local homebrew club and things like that. And so while, anybody who's done homebrewing, you go into the homebrew shop, you go to pick up a couple of things, but you're going to be there for an hour and a half because it's, again, community. You go in, you socialize, you talk, you spitball some ideas, things like that. And so while you don't have that with the brick and mortar shop here, he does make himself available, phone calls, emails, things like that. So you can still get that consultation, that community, that kind of spitballing, and then again, participating with the homebrew club. So you still get that. Anyway, we talked to him over at Spider City. Really cool fellow. We may have him on at some point to talk about homebrew shops and homebrewing and all of that, but I wanted to shout him out and make sure that we talked about it. And if you're in the Bend area, check it out. Get into homebrewing, right? It's a fun hobby. If you haven't done it, you've got somebody right here who can help guide you along. So check them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, now back to today. So we had these delicious, delicious burritos and a fish taco. And then we were
in a coma.
We were done.
Losing 20 minutes of our lives sleeping on the floor.
That's right. Some of us.
I feel like it was more than 20 minutes for you that you were on the floor in front of the fireplace.
Right, but
yeah, some of us found a nice little spot in front of the fireplace and time traveled to 30, 40 minutes later.
Yeah.
No, it was good. We all needed it. We needed a rest and relaxation. We're old men, right? Two days of going out there, doing the hard work for you listeners, making sure we're paving that Hoppy Trail for you. It takes a toll. We took a little break. We took a rest, recharged our batteries.
And we got right back on that trail.
Got right back out on that trail, man. We laced up our hiking boots, literally and figuratively, and we got out there and we headed over to a really cool place called Monkless. And their whole gig
means they don't have any monks there.
Their whole gig is no monks. That's it. If a monk walks in, they do a roundhouse kick right to your jaw, throw you out the back door. So if you are a monk, you are not welcome. No, I don't think that's what it is.
No.
I mean, they don't have any monks, but they don't do the roundhouse kick.
No, they don't.
From my understanding, I didn't see.
I'm sure if a monk walked in, they'd appreciate him.
They probably
at least
would.
a Belgian monk.
A Belgian monk. They'd probably give him a beer.
Yeah,
if I had to guess. You can tell we've had a long day on the Hoppy Trail. Yeah, we're a little slappy. No, but really what it is it's all about the Belgian ales. As we know, the long history of the Belgian ales is at the Trappist monks, at their monasteries, the abbeys. Part of their devotional was making and crafting these beers, perfecting it as part of their prayer, part of their devotional. And even though, generally speaking, monks are not drinking alcohol, these Trappist monks were. They were making it, perfecting their craft. And so
brewing that beer at the trap house.
That's right. And so this is the style of Belgian beers. And it was really interesting because, we walked in and we said, hey, we're going to do a flight of 8. And you each picked one. And then we said, dealer's choice. And this was the first time we've gotten like a really good reaction very fast from dealer's choice. And he just immediately, oh, yep, say no more. And he scrolled out the rest of it. And then he brought out this beautiful flight of 8 that were in just really a nice array of colors, which I think for a lot of people, their exposure to Belgian is 1, maybe 2. And so you kind of think that they're all very similar, and they're not.
No.
There was a wide variety in those 8 tasters we had.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that he actually aligned them across the tray in terms, from color color gradient level?
Yeah.
It was really a beautiful presentation.
It was. Oh yeah, it was really impressive. I mean, that whole place, it had a really great ambiance, decor.
I
It was
couldn't
really
stop
cool.
looking at the light bulbs hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
All the fancy Edison bulbs. Like,
Yes.
these are not your standard Edison bulbs.
No.
These were some crazy blown glass globes that had the Edison kind of LED
Yeah.
filaments inside.
Yeah, all different sizes, really big ones, skinny long ones, medium, just all different shapes. It was very cool. Yeah, a lot of wood in there. It definitely had it was reminiscent of what you would feel
Felt like I was in a Belgian lodge.
a Belgian lodge, a Trappist abbey, if you will.
Where was the trapeze?
There was a trapeze. It was out back.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
It's a summertime activity. Anyway, is why you didn't see it.
True.
Summertime.
True.
Yeah. But really amazing beers. And then they also had a full menu of stuff that looked really good. We just grabbed a couple of sausages because we were still full from burritos. But they had a lot of really good stuff in there that I don't know if we hadn't already had a full meal. I might have hit up one of those entrees.
Pork schnitzel.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bavarian pretzel was the thing that
Calling
instantly
you.
caught my eye.
Yeah.
I just didn't think I could handle that much.
No.
And now, like a couple hours later, we're like,
Oh, now I can go back.
I'm
but-
hungry.
I know. That's the downside because I think they closed at 9 and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, what time is it now? It's 11 o'clock. I could handle a pretzel and a schnitzel sandwich. Who couldn't, right?
Totally.
Yeah. But we grabbed 2 sausages from them and one bratwurst and one what was the other one? Linguiça. Yeah, a bratwurst and a linguiça. They came out nice and grilled, sliced up, everything like that. And we got a mustard, but it was
It was pickled stone ground mustard.
it was like a pickled mustard.
So it wasn't
seed,
your pickled mustard seeds essentially.
which was really good.
Yeah, that was good. And then they brought out some really proper curry ketchup.
Proper curry ketchup. It was
Very deep red
oh yeah,
color.
delicious.
Yeah.
I hadn't had curry ketchup before, you know,
Up until last night.
up until last night.
Yeah.
And then we had that pretty decent one at, what was it, Bangers and Brews.
Yeah.
Last night for us, again, 2 weeks ago for you listeners. Yeah, we had that from Bangers and Brews. This curry ketchup was better.
Yes.
It was really, really, really good. And I was impressed with the one that we had last night. And then this one, I was just like, wow, I was really blown away. That was excellent. And Huey, you've been to this place before, Monkless.
Yeah. One other time.
Yeah.
When it was really freaking cold. Same as this time. But yeah, no, and that was the time that I had the pork schnitzel. That's why I was like, darn, I'm really full.
How was that schnitzel?
Nice and tender. Yeah. Just literally cut it with the side of your fork.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. We definitely have to come back, make this a lunchtime spot or something like that so we can really get in and enjoy that. Yeah, but their array of beers, outstanding. It was, as we were saying at the beginning of the episode, we were really slow because we were just all so exhausted. And Belgian beers are not traditionally ones that are, easy to knock down. They're full flavored. They had a whole range of alcohol levels in them. So they were definitely ones that took, some sipping and some work, but really good beers, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a favorite. When we were planning on coming over, I was like, we need to go to Monkless.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah, no, it was definitely on the list, and I'm glad that we were able to get to it tonight. Fox, what'd you like? What was your favorite?
I can't pronounce it. I'm going to butcher it.
Butcher it. Do it.
Schepelkofegen.
Do you know what that beer? Do you know how that came about?
I have no idea how the name came about, and it is really difficult for me to say, and I'm probably butchering it.
The brewer, 4 of his friends, it's their 4 last names like smushed together.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
the kerfuffle.
Yeah, so the kerfuffle. And so the story goes, as I was told by I can't remember his name. I have it written down on a card, but the fellow who was checking me out, helped me with merchandise. As the story goes, the brewer he had these 4 friends that would come over, and he could not get through a dinner party without all 4 of these friends being passed out at the table. And so he made this one as a lower ABV, a little bit more sessionable, so his buddies could all make it through a dinner party. And so he smashed all their names together, and that was the origin of that beer.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. It was very light. It had a nice kind of citrusy flavor to it. Easy to go down for sure.
Yeah.
The Brewers had a really interesting history too, though. Our waiter was telling us a little bit about it.
Yeah, he started off PhD in organic chemistry from UC Davis, I think.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then he was working for Johnson and Johnson as a chemist there, and they're the ones who kept sending him over to Belgium. He fell in love with the beers, and he's like, what am I doing with this? I could be making these wonderful beers. And that was it. He put his organic chemistry to work, and he's doing a great job.
Very good job.
A really good job. Yeah, and that's so the monkless. We joked about it, but the idea behind it is, it is the hundreds and thousands of years of tradition that these monks had brewing, with attention to detail and mindfulness as part of their devotional. Is that we take the same spirit, the same idea, the same heart of it, and we do all of that, but without being monks.
Yeah.
So it's, you're getting the very same feel and passion without the monk. Yeah. I thought that was really great. It's a good idea and a good feel for it. And what I'm told is you go into the brewery and there is just data, just so much data going in just to make sure each beer is precise and exactly how he wants it to be. And I think that's great. He's making some really quality beers. Yeah. What else? I think they had one that was, there was one that we were looking at. We were looking at the hops that they were using in it. And the thing is, even with their hoppier beer, I think he has one called Compromise or something like that. Oh man, I can't remember. It's not Compromise. It's something else. Acquiescence no, that's not it either.
Are you looking at Unorthodox?
No, but he has one that it was basically being in Oregon. A bunch of people started asking him for a hoppier beer. And so he acquiesced to it and made a hoppier style beer, but it's not acquiesce. I can't remember what the name is, but
Benefaction?
Benefactor?
No, I don't think so. Let me see if I can look it up. Talk amongst yourselves about Belgian beers while I look this up.
Is it the Double or Nothing?
No.
I'm almost all the way through our list. The FNG was really good though.
Yeah, the FNG was my favorite.
Yeah, what was the story on that?
The fucking new guy made a mistake, but it was kind of the mistake ended up being as they called it, or Bob Ross would say, a happy accident.
Yes.
Happy trees.
Yeah, and that was what
Happy
was the
beers.
style on that one? I think it was like a mix between
Belgian Abbey Ale.
It was like a mix between a double and a triple or something. I can't remember. Oh, the one I'm thinking of, Capitulation. He capitulated to the demands for a hoppier beer, and he ended up making a dry hopped Belgian triple with dry hop to add a blast of flowery, citrusy hop aroma. So that was where that beer came from.
That name reminds me of a Russian River beer.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here. We had it a long time ago when we went to Russian River.
That was a long time ago that we went to Russian River. I remember that. That was a fun trip. We hit a Bear Republic. Bear Republic got purchased.
Yes.
Drake's, I think it is. Was it Drake's that picked them up? I can't remember. It might have.
Oh, I was thinking of Supplication
from
Russian River.
Similar.
They have another one, Compunction, Consecration,
Yeah.
all the Asians.
Yeah, I don't remember that one, Supplication. I don't remember that beer. But again, that must have been 8 years ago.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That was a long time ago, my friend.
Jeez.
Yeah. But, yeah, Bear Republic. Bear Republic is purchased. They're going to keep running the same beers because I think they bought the name and
The naming rights, yeah.
distribution. So they should be running the same beers. But man, Bear Republic, that was an old pillar of California beers, right? With the Racer 5 and Racer X, and they had a few others, really good beers. Some that were, really foundations of IPAs and double IPAs and like that. There are no more. But that, that's not from this trip. I digress. Took a little game trail off the Hoppy Trail there. But yeah, this Monkless, something I really noticed, very low IBUs on most of their beers, but a very wide range of ABVs. They had some stuff that was down as low as 5s, and then up to 14. Didn't they have like a quintuple, a Belgian quintuple or something? It was like 14%.
That's pretty steep.
Yeah, we didn't get to try that one. I think it's a seasonal that comes and goes, but that's a curtain call, right? That's one that you have one of those right before bed, and you will sleep tight. That is a nighty night beer. Yeah. You can tell that the Belgians are starting to weigh on us as we get later in this evening here. Yeah, but really cool place, really friendly people. I definitely had a good time there, and we enjoyed the beers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was, as we said in the beginning, that was a very full day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It didn't seem like much, but it was a lot.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you think, oh, we can do this. We're going to hit a few breweries. Maybe we'll hit 4 or 5 or something like that. And it is work. It weighs on you. You hit that third brewery, and man, especially because we're not just going in and grabbing a pint and bailing out, right? We're doing the hard work, talking to people. We're drinking a lot of different beers. And again, we do that. That's a sacrifice we make for you, listeners.
Yeah.
It's a hard job. We do it for you.
Yep.
Any other thoughts that we have on the day? I kind of noticed that I felt like a big theme of today was that community. We definitely got a lot of that welcoming in with open arms. A lot of people that were, hey, yeah, come over here. Let me share my story with you. People that are supporting community, supporting local. I really got that feeling today, and that's something that I love from craft beer to begin with. What do you guys think? Anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Maybe we'll end up having a recap part 3. Yes.
Yeah, we may have to do that. I think that'll be something we can go decompress.
It's a lot to process.
A lot to process. And it's been a great trip, and I've had so much fun doing it with my boys.
Totally.
This is always a good time, and we'll have to be doing this more often. And we definitely enjoy doing it. Obviously, we're not in here for the celebrity, although we'll take the celebrity. We're in it for the good times, and we hope everybody likes following us down these Hoppy Trails. Huey, what do we got for socials?
Hoppy Trails Pod, Instagram. That's our only social.
Yep.
Because we're semi-antisocial, I think. But yeah, we got the gram, Hoppy Trails Pod.
That's right.
You can also go to hoppytrailspod.com if you don't have the gram.
Right.
And from there, you'll find a little link tree. Get access to our episodes on a variety of podcast platforms.
That's it. Every podcatcher that's out there.
You want to reach out to us and talk to us, you got a link there.
Yeah, please do. Please do send
Contact
us
at
emails.
hoppytrailspod.com.
Let us know what you're drinking. Let us know if you've been to any of the places we've been and you think we're off base. Let us know.
We'll talk more about doing trail reports and everything because we want to get involved with you guys. And find out what you guys are experiencing out there.
That's it. There's a huge wide world of craft beer out there, and
we can't necessarily see all of it ourselves.
We can't. We want to. We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying, listeners, but we just can't do it. And so we need you.
We need your help.
This got very like, infomercial or like, what is it? Phone drive or something like that. We need you.
Borderline evangelical.
Call us now and pledge $5.
We will have a Patreon soon.
That's right. That's right. Give us your money and we'll use it to drink beer, but in a positive way.
We'll send you swag in return.
That's right. That's right. You want a sticker? We'll drink a beer for you and send you a sticker. In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
It won't just be stickers. We'll have more things along the road.
Yes, we will. Yeah, we're going to get more stuff set up. We'll be announcing it, so definitely listen back. And all right, before we get too slappy and fall apart here, thanks for joining us on this trip down the Hoppy Trail. And remember, always say yes to the Hoppy ending.
Always say yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The preceding podcast was produced by Sequoia Productions, LLC. Copyright 2022. All rights reserved. If you enjoyed this show and you're looking for more, or even if you're looking for something a little different, check out the other amazing shows by Sequoia Productions, wherever you get your podcasts, or on sequoia.com.
Hoppy trails to brew until we drink again. Hoppy trails to brew. Keep sharing with your friends. Who cares about which IPA tastes better? ABV are just a couple letters. Hoppy trails to brews until we